Okay, guys, we're at the Texas A&M College of Veterinary Medicine, a small animal hospital. It's about 09:35. We've been here since 7 a.m. I'm getting inundated with IM questions and things of that nature, so we've got some time to kill here. So I thought I would just, instead of wearing my thumbs out answering each individual question, I'll just do a Facebook Live and get everybody up to speed. We've been here since 7 a.m. They came and picked up Sasha about 7:15 this morning. Dr. Caitlin, who's the cardiologist, the canine cardiologist that's doing the surgery, came out and spoke to us and just reassured us about the procedure, made sure we knew everything that was going to happen and what order it was going to happen in and what we could expect, and assure us that she was going to stay in contact with us, and she has. They took her back. We haven't seen her. We won't be able to see her because of the COVID-19 and a bunch of regulations and whatnot. At the earliest we'll be able to see her is about tomorrow morning at the earliest, which is the earliest we may be able to take her home. She is going to have to spend the night in the hospital, and Dr. Caitlin and her staff are going to be taking care of her. We were assured that she was not going to be left alone at any time during the process, so she's not just stuck in a cage. She's been taken care of. There's two procedures. There's questions about the procedures. There's two different types of procedures that they're looking at. One of them is non-invasive, which means they don't have to open her up and actually go inside her chest cavity, and the other one is invasive, which is obviously they have to cut into her and open her up. To determine whether she was a candidate for the non-invasive procedure, which they actually go in through her femoral artery in her right leg, and they run a catheter all the way up into her heart, and they install this plug or a cork in this PDA valve, and it shuts the flow off, which is the culprit for the majority of her problems. They needed to determine whether she was a candidate for that by getting a clear image of the PDA. We keep calling it a valve, but it's actually a bypass line. But this PDA bypass valve, they had to take a scope into her throat through her esophagus, and apparently the esophagus runs right across this PDA bypass, and that enabled them to get a really good picture of the bypass valve, and which we were told on our last phone call by Dr. Caitlin that it looked really good, and they were going to move forward with the non-invasive procedure. So if for some reason once they get in there they can't get the cork set or whatever, they always have the option of coming back out and doing the invasive procedure. The biggest difference is if they have to actually open her up, we'll probably be without her for about 2 days, because she'll have to stay in the hospital for a couple of days. As far as the non-invasive procedure, if it goes okay, she'll just have to stay overnight, just for observation. Drink water. My story, I'm a veteran. I spent almost 31 years in the federal, National Guard, and state military forces. I retired in May of 2014 with 30 years, 7 months, and 16 days of service. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in mid-2015. My symptoms were severe nightmares, anger issues, anxiety, stress, those type of things. I did not want to go to the SSRI, the drugs route, if I could help it, and I had some really good doctors that were were doing everything they could to keep me off of those. Eventually, the option was made available to me to get a service dog. My attending psychologist and psychiatrist both decided that would be a good treatment. Sasha was not recruited through regular channels. She has a pretty unique story. She was actually purchased from a registered breeder by my son-in-law for protection. She comes from a long line of working canines, military dogs, law enforcement dogs, protective canines, that type of deal. Unfortunately, and that's what my son-in-law bought her for. After going through several trainers, it was determined that the gene that causes aggressive behavior and a defensive behavior, Sasha didn't have a single molecule. She wouldn't bite a biscuit if it had hot butter on it. So we started taking care of her when she was about 10 and a half months old. My son-in-law and daughter-in-law just had too many dogs, and I was thinking about getting into search and rescue at the time because I had just retired from the military. I was looking for something to do, and we acquired Sasha. And it's a long story, but one thing led to another, and going through some training with Benny Olson, who owns Patriot Dog Care in Berkheim, Texas. She was recommended and approved to become a service dog. So I didn't acquire Sasha through normal routes. It's kind of a God thing. It was just meant to be. But Sasha immediately started keying on me. She would wake me up when I started having nightmares. She could tell when I was getting uptight and torqued up a long time before I did, and just she had no classical training at that point for this. It was just her natural instinct. And when I made the comment that she saved my life, she did, because I was in a very, very dark place in my life at that point in time, emotionally. Like I say, she saved me from not wanting to be here anymore. So, what was one of the other questions? Sasha's 4.5 years old. She was born September the 21st, 2015. She'll be 5 this fall. So she's very, very young. Her life expectancy is around 14 years, or was, as a healthy German Shepherd. After this surgery, she could live to be 7, 10, 11 years old. Who knows? But I thank God for every single minute. When we came down here, we thought we had days, a month or less with her. And if the surgery gets us a year, that's 12 times more than what we expected to begin with. So I'm good with it. I'm elated. Feel blessed to have it. What was another question? That's about all I can think of right off the top of my head. I hope that answers a lot of questions about everything. Again, I want to thank the Hanks and Eli Fund, hanksandeli.com. Please go in there and donate. I mean, if you dip snuff, skip one dip a day and donate $1 a day, okay? I mean, if you drink beer, skip a beer and donate a couple of bucks every month. That was one of the questions. What does Hanks and Eli Fund do? Hanks and Eli Fund is a non-profit organization. They are a 501c3, so all the donations you make are tax deductible. They are a Texas-based fund. What they do is they not only provide veterans service dogs with expensive veterinary care that can't normally be afforded, like or even known about. In our case, we didn't even have any idea that there was such a thing as a canine cardiologist or a cardiac surgeon. So if it hadn't been for William Cole and Dr. Mike Moore contacting me, I'd have never even known that this was even available. But anyway, they underwrite the expenses for service dogs of veterans. They also provide the same type of service for retired military working dogs, or MWDs. They help veterans obtain service dogs. So, and if you're active duty military, they also help with expenses on your issued dog or retired dog. So I may be misquoting that. Check their website out. Make sure it's all stat. But from what I understand, 100% of all the funds that you donate to the Hanks and Eli Fund goes to the fund. There's not some fat cat sitting in an ivory tower somewhere raking in dollars with a $1.5 million a year salary and a $10,000 business suit. They rely completely on word of mouth. So pass this on to your friends, and please, if you're a civilian and you want to support soldiers, I can't think of a better way than to get involved and donate to this fund. So again, it's Hank's and Eli's fund, but the website is Hank and Eli. Great story about the name. Get on the website and check it out. I want to thank everybody out there for their continued prayers. I want to thank the guys over at AquaSmart, my employer. They have been over backwards and been incredibly supportive. And I'm blessed in so many ways, but I'm truly blessed to be affiliated with AquaSmart and Calder Hendrickson and Todd Naff, Mike Hensley, Oliver Mulamba. I just can't say enough good things about all of them. Randy Rhodes, longtime friend of mine. I've been friends for 30 years, Ranger buddy. He and his wife, Amanda, have been. We couldn't be here if it wasn't for their assistance. So we appreciate it. My youngest brother, Darby Ledbetter, he and his wife Darby and Kathy are putting us up in Conroe. So we do have a clean non-COVID-19 infected area to jump in a fart sack in. So we're good there. They've been great. This live feed could go on for 5 hours, me just thanking everybody individually for their prayers, but I really appreciate it. And y'all keep following Sasha. Keep her in your prayers, and pray that the good Lord's hands are on Dr. Caitlin's hands, and we get to see Sasha here soon. So keep the questions coming, and we'll try to get to them. We'll do another Facebook Live and answer all the rest of the questions. And you can just IM me or whatever. I'm trying to write them down. So if I miss one, remind me. That's it from Texas A&M College of Veterinary Medicine, Casey and Doty. And yeah, there she is. My cameraman, director, photographer, cinematographer. Anyway, we love you guys. We love you very much. I can't tell you. I feel so humbled to have the support that we do. And I guess you never really know how many people's lives you touch until you're in a bad spot. And man, they just come jumping out of the woodworks, and I feel incredibly humbled and blessed. So thanks a bunch. I love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.